Hey, of you. Hey there. Hey, everybody. I hope you was enjoying that nice music while I went to get me some coffee. Hey, of you. How you doing, love? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, man. It's a lot going on, y'all, at night. Last night, specifically. But come on in, come on in. I want to talk about this. What's going on with these comedians out here? And as y'all can see, what's the for the title of my show? I titled it "Dave Chappelle Attacked on Stage." Does this now mean it's open season for comedians after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? I mean, somebody tell me what's really going on. Like, I don't know. Did Will Smith set something off? You said it sure is. Let me drop this link. I don't know if you want to jump on view, but if anybody wants to jump on, I'm gonna drop this good old link so y'all can jump on the screen with me because this is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. And for those who have not seen it, I'm gonna play the video clip real quick. And I did drop the link, so if anybody again wants to jump on and discuss it with me, feel free. Let me put my little copyright disclaimer up here. Good morning, boo.
Good morning, baby.
How you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, I just woke up maybe 30 minutes ago and saw it too.
Man, I just saw it. I was sleeping so good last night, and I woke up, and the first thing I saw all over the news was Dave Chappelle attack. And I'm thinking he attacked at home, on the road, at the mall, you know. And they said on stage. So what I'm gonna do is play this little clip for the people who have not seen it, who probably just got up just like I did. And then I'm gonna discuss it. So let me hit mute and I'm gonna play this video for y'all.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
Disturbing details of another public attack on a big name comic. We're talking about Dave Chapelle, who was doing his act at the Hollywood Bowl last night when a man got on stage and tackled him. Chapelle is okay, but the attack on him came less than 6 weeks after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock during the Oscars. Our national correspondent, Jerika Duncan, has the story.
This video captures the moment a spectator rushed the stage and tackled comedian Dave Chappelle. He was performing at the Netflix as a Joke live comedy festival in Hollywood. The encounter took place right as Chappelle was wrapping up his set. He appeared to be uninjured, and security quickly apprehended his attacker. Witnesses reported the man was then kicked and punched repeatedly by security guards. Afterward, Chappelle brushed off the incident.
Oh, now everybody comes out for the curtain call.
And thanked comedian and actor Jamie Foxx for checking on his well-being just as the chaos unfolded.
Whenever you're in trouble, Jamie Foxx will show up in the sheriff's hat.
Video of the aftermath shows a massive police presence as the suspect, who was allegedly armed, could be seen on a stretcher as he was taken into custody. But the scary moment took a comedic turn as Chris Rock, who was slapped by actor Will Smith at the Oscars, took the stage.
Was that
Will Smith? For CBS Mornings, Jerika Duncan, New York.
Wow, that was my first time watching it.
Really? Isn't that crazy?
You know what I'm seeing though? Like, okay, like I'm just gonna say I wanna see how comfortable people are gonna start attacking white comedians. I'm willing to bet that nobody is going to walk up on stage and attack a white male comedian. Like, I'm starting to see like a pattern. It was Will Smith, and now it's Dave Chappelle. Let's see if there's going to be a white male comedian that's going to be attacked on stage.
And let's not forget about the black female comedian that T.I. got aggressive with a couple of months ago. Remember that?
Oh, I did not
Matter
know.
of fact, it wasn't even a couple of months ago because the Will Smith incident was 6 weeks ago. The T.I. incident was probably 4 weeks ago because it was like a week or two afterward, there was a female comedian, and she was joking about, she saw T.I. in the crowd. You know how comedians do. And she
Yeah.
was joking about the incident with T.I. and them getting in trouble for all these stupid charges, him and his wife. And he started yelling and screaming at her, demanding that she take off her wig. He climbed up on stage, snatched the mic out of her hand. He bear hugged her really hard, like restraining her and stuff so she couldn't move. And it was a whole big old scene. And no security guards, nobody did anything in defense of this female. And it was a young girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. It's like it's kind of like how we reacted in this country. We're numb to the pain of black females, but because it's patriarchal and we're black, we see black males as, the king, the god. So it's unfortunate that they didn't, I didn't even know about that, but I'm not surprised. Just basic how people responded from George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, particular black Americans. It kind of shows what we think and how much we value blackness off of gender as black people. I'm really not expecting other people of other communities to kind of see it that way. But yeah, I didn't. I'm saying it's yeah. At this point, it's like it's not us being embarrassed or nothing like that. These are entertainers. These are not everyday black people. But that just goes to show you that people with a certain status and a certain point, if you could take the nigga out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the nigga. I don't care how much money they make sometimes, and that
That is
shows
true.
that kind of shows that, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is true. And good morning, Nikki. And if anybody else wants to jump up here with us this morning and discuss the thing that's going on with these comedians getting attacked on stage, the newest one was last night with Dave Chappelle getting attacked on that Netflix as a joke tour. He was on that tour with Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, and some other people. And I had been seeing the previews and advertisement for that tour, and I think it's like a really nice tour. Uh, but yeah, so last night, Dave Chappelle's attack. For those who missed it, it's all over the internet. And if you rewind a little bit, I played the clip. But the craziest thing for me, Isaac, is okay, like with the Will Smith one, a lot of people thought that was staged. They thought, for a moment this was a setup like this. The awards knew about it, but then once Will got back to his seat, it was like, okay, he's cussing, going off, threatening Chris. So it's not a joke. But even still, then people was like, how you just walk up on stage when you're not supposed to be on stage and nobody stops you? And then the shit with the T.I. incident and the female, like that was a whole female. So, that might be a little different, but she was still black. And then this incident is like, where is the fucking security guard? Like afterwards, you saw how they was kicking and stomping and hitting the guy who attacked Dave. But where is the freaking security? Like, do you remember, Isaac, how many concerts have you been to? You could not get on the stage.
Well, exactly.
They had a whole gate around the stage. They had like officers side by side, security guards. You could not get on the stage.
I've worked security by the stage from different like companies I've worked with throughout my life, so it's just beyond me how they are able to just get that close. I really don't even know.
I don't understand it either. And good morning, Mr. YouTube Streets. Um, I don't understand. And it's like after the Will Smith incident, yeah, Chris Rock and Will might have had some type of thing going on for some years, like they said, but little beef or little whatever, disagreement or whatever. But still, regardless, I think they need to bump up the security. It don't matter what type of setting, whether it's a ward, whether it's out in the damn park, at the mall, Netflix tour, it don't matter. Like they need to bump up the security. These comedians are doing what they love to do on stage. And if that comes with joking about certain things that are made public to us, just like we
Right.
on here on YouTube, a lot of people on YouTube, especially in the B sector, they get upset when people be talking about their asses. But a lot of stuff they be talking about is for what people bring to the YouTube streets. bring their own business, their own personal business.
Mm-hmm.
And if people do commentary on it, that's just what it is. But that incident last night, I mean, has anybody heard like why the man attacked him?
You know what? I don't know. It's just like I'm just like okay. It's like I'm just looking like all right. So let's see how. I want to know what type of person it was. Was it a white male? Was it a Hispanic male? Was it a black
Oh, he
male?
looked black. I mean, I saw a really close up picture of the man, and he looked black, from his hands and his face and stuff. And he looked a
Mm-hmm.
lot smaller than Jamie too. He
He,
looked.
yeah, he looked real. I did notice he was a really small frame man. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I was just like, what is, I mean, are we taking black on black crime to Hollywood? Is that what we doing?
Yeah, like
That's what it just kind of looked like. Like, are we, that's just, I mean,
it's a whole mess. And you know what? I have to give it up for Jamie Foxx because I don't know if people is like more on alert like other comedians. Because as soon as that man jumped there, they said Jamie Foxx jumped on stage and helped the security guards get this man off of Dave Chappelle. Now, the man had a whole gun and he had a whole knife. Now, that's another thing. How the hell did he get in there with weapons? But again, give it up to Jamie Foxx because he was like, man, this my bro, brother from another mother. We all in this game together. He even said, we have to make sure people is protected when they on stage.
yeah, that was kind of scary. The fact that, I mean, you're supposed to go through, I work events and stuff like that at different centers. As you know, I do janitorial work. I do security work at different events, and even us as the employees got to go through that metal detector. I have no idea did somebody who was that close did not get processed or had a seat that close for that matter and
Mhm.
didn't get processed. Like it's beyond me.
It's beyond me too because I done been to many comedy shows, concerts, plays, and the whole front of the building ain't nothing but those metal detectors that you go through and they swipe you with the swan or whatever they call that thing. They swipe you with that thing. And I'm like, how the hell did this man got in there with a gun and a knife?
Right. So
It's not even. I mean, he did attack Dave Chappelle, but what if he would have set that whole motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Like set it off up in there and just start shooting in the crowd, like or stabbing people. I don't get how he was able to get on stage, let alone the gun and the knife. Hey, of you. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Joanna. Anybody can jump on if they want. We just discussing the Dave Chappelle incident last night and these comedians getting attacked with the security not making sure they're safe, they're protected. Like I don't understand how that man just jumped up on that stage and did 90 miles an hour like Flo Joe and attacked with a whole gun and a knife. I'm just flabbergasted. But anyway, go ahead, of you.
Hey everybody. Hey, I wanted to say now they're getting off easy now because historically comedians they were labeled as court jesters and you were presented before a king or a queen and you had to be on point. And if you were not on point, the famous line throw him or her to the lions.
I remember that back in the days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was what they got. They didn't get punched or anything. They died. They got killed. So that was part of the entertainment. So yeah, they had to be on point. And definitely it was a no-no to say something negative about the queen or anybody, any other government official or whatever. So it was do or die. So I do think that they need to step up the security. I've always thought that because you can just jump up on stage at a lot of events, but I don't go to those type of concerts and things anymore. So
Shoot, a lot of people might start not going to those concerts, or I mean, it. The person, okay, they had like a no phone thing. They was like, okay, they don't want people to use their phones because that's how I be on these comedian tours because they be selling the work, or the project on like Netflix or HBO or whatever, and they want people to pay to see it if they don't come out to see it. So it just happened that some guy, and the guy was probably lying, talking about yeah, they had us put our phones in our little packs or purses or whatever, but he said he forgot he had a second phone, and that's how he was able to record. But if you look at that video, you can tell he was recording way before that man jumped on stage, because he caught the whole incident. So, but that's really neither here or there. But what I'm saying is, okay, they worried about phones, but y'all ain't worried about the safety of these comedians. He got in there with a whole gun and a knife. I'm sorry, but that I just can't get over that one.
Hi, IG.
What's happening? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak. I was talking, but I was muted when I first came on, so I don't think you heard me say hello to you.
I did. I did. How you doing, ma'am? I'm doing good.
I'm good. I'm tired. I'm feeling real old this morning.
Oh Lord, that's me every morning.
Matter of fact, I was because right now, I'm from New Orleans. I live in San Antonio. I went to work yesterday at the AT&T Center, and it was a rock metal concert. A group called Deftones. I do listen to some of their stuff too, and it was security, right? But I've worked at this AT&T Center for years. I have never ever went to a concert and people were smoking pot. I mean, weed. Weed is not legal in Texas. Like if you was in that building, it's like it was a cloud. Like it was a cloud of weed all over the concert like yesterday. So, and I'm just looking like, wow, like how did I mean, I guess you could if there's no dogs or nothing like that, but it's like
That's how it used to be back in the day though, but that was back before they stopped people from smoking inside
arenas and stuff.
Yeah, but that's how it used to be back in the day. You couldn't even breathe up in the mugs. But yeah, I'm surprised they still
Like you can't smoke. No, it's illegal. But it was just so many. It was literally so many people doing it. Like you could be.
Oh.
Yeah, it was literally like a cloud. You stepped out on that arena, you heard me, and it's like you could get. I was getting a contact at work, and I didn't smoke a damn thing because there was so many people. Yeah, I didn't look. I wasn't mad either, but it's like it was so many people. But I was just yeah. But I'm just looking like thinking like, okay, well at least, and it's funny though. I was like, at least nobody got hurt. There was no fights. There was no stabbing and no shooting. Because I know they don't play that. Even us, if you're a custodian worker, whatever the case may be, you have to go through security. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, I'd rather them. I bet you they rather him smoke up the place than them to come in there with some weapons. I'd rather deal with some weed smoke than somebody coming there with a knife and a gun. I'm just saying.
Exactly. I feel you. And hey, gummy bamas, what she say? Gummy bamas, let's drink about it. Ciroc bottle. Al.
Al. Hey, gummy bamas.
It's too early to be drinking some Ciroc gummy, but give me till noon.
Well, depends on what time zone people are in.
I know.
Baby, I'm from New Orleans. We sell that shit 24 hours a day. So look, if you off,
right.
If you
I love that accent. Okay. You heard me? You heard me?
You heard me? Like if you're off, baby, if you getting it how you live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have me sometimes, not all the time, but on days when I'm chilling, I didn't do what the hell I'm supposed to do. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have me a little funky ass glass of Merlot. I'm gonna have me a little glass of wine and some champagne, and I ain't talking about mimosa.
I ain't mad at you.
Speaking of wine, I have yet to go. I haven't even really had time to like properly shop since I moved, but I have my little wine holders. The things that you put on the counter with all the holes. And I have yet to fill that bad boy up since I moved. I really need to do that this weekend before Mother's Day, honey, at least. But yes, hey, the Miss TR, long time no see, love. How you been? But yeah, as far as this Dave Chapelle, they said, what did y'all think about Chris Rock making a kiki about Will Smith at the end?
I thought that was appropriate. I thought that was extremely appropriate.
I thought it was too. I thought it was appropriate too. Like I really did. It's like, hey, I mean, at least, and that's one thing to kind of be interesting because you would think, as large as the venue or world renowned the Oscars were, that some type of people were. I kind of get the vibe looking at Will Smith's situation. People were worrying about looking coof than actually protecting the performer on stage. Because it's real interesting that Dave Chappelle, not to say it's not a big venue, but it wasn't national TV. So it's kind of like, I don't know. You would think that in a smaller venue or space like that, that it would have been, I'm sorry, a larger space like the Oscars versus Dave Chappelle, that response would have been maybe not 10 or 9 people jumping him on camera. But even so, if that was the case, cut the damn cameras right quick. I didn't see like no type of urgency versus with Dave Chappelle. But then I gotta wonder because is it Dave Chappelle though? His comedy is mostly not the people of his own race. You know what I'm saying? So it was still
Yeah, he
kind of
has
like
a very broad
he has a yeah,
audience.
yeah, he has a very broad audience. So it's just kind of like, well, the Oscar obviously is, well, we can say it's kind of broad, but it's a little bit more to one side. But still, it's just like,
Mhm.
man, I'm like, where was that energy? I could see why Chris Rock would make a joke because it's like, where is the joke? I was on a
Because
national.
I know Chris was like, it happened again. Like this time, the only difference was it wasn't a celebrity that jumped on stage. That's the only difference.
Right. So then what does that mean for a black male comedian that it doesn't matter if it's just a regular audience member or celebrity, you can be assaulted. That's just what, if I was a black comedian, male or female for that matter, I would take it as, okay, it's open season on black male and female comedians. And I just wouldn't do, and I hate to say it, but it's like, well, if I'm getting attacked by nothing but black people and I'm watching nothing but black people attack other black people on stage, do I really want to do crowds where it's mostly black people anymore? I'm just saying, if that's my experience.
Right. And Miss TR said, what was the reason for the assault? We don't know yet. Like somebody in the comment section, I think that was Gummy. Gummy Bama said, Dave didn't deserve that. I'm thinking the person is white because we don't understand or why we don't know who he is by now. And he might be, but I could have sworn he looked like he was black when I looked at a very close up picture. Somebody had zoomed in and posted a close up pic, and the person looked black to me. But I agree where Isaac is coming from. When he first jumped on here, Isaac said, uh, he's sitting back to see if this is going to start happening to white entertainers, white comedians. Like, is this just about to be a black thing now? That black comedians get attacked? Is they gonna start going from the men to the women? That's my next question as well.
Yeah. I just, I mean, it's one of the things I'm wondering. Like once I saw it, that's the first thing that came to mind. I said, okay, this is starting to be. I can start this. I can do some math. I can do some averages, percentage, how often, because this happened more than once. And now what you telling me what happened with the female comedian is like, okay, this is now becoming a pattern, a trend, or a habit.
Right.
And
And
it
Ti, a lot
yeah,
of people say Ti is disrespectful. You know how he treated Tiny and probably still does. But
Yes.
a lot of people say Ti is really disrespectful to females. Period. So that could have played a part in why he went up there and did what he did to that female comedian that was joking about his relationship. But the thing is like I think after the Chris Rock. Okay. Look at it this way. After the after Trump started doing all his little bullshit, right?
mm-hmm,
All these Trump boys and all these white people, just all these Karens, just all these Kens, just all these, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah.
following suit. And that's where I see this going. If they don't put a stop to this shit right now, that's the direction I see this shit going. It's like Chris Rock and Will Smith, that whole incident kind of set it off.
Yeah, and
Well,
then since you mentioned that, Tanya, you would think if everybody who talk about they so like who's black, who talk about this for black people, you would think after the Trump ordeal, this would be the opposite reaction of what you'd see other black people doing to each other. You would think. You would think.
Well, you know what?
Hmm.
I've always, I'm sorry, I'm right in mid bite. I've always, when I was younger, I really hated being out in the public, working out in the public. I mean, I've been a cashier and stuff. When you're in high school, RBs, and then when you get maybe work at a mall,
Yeah, I had all those
you
jobs.
know, in the grocery store and stuff like that. And the fact that people can have access to you. So it's not just the comedians. Now we see viral videos where people are pulling out employees out of the drive-through windows. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
they snatching them out the drive-through window. Did you see that one video where the girl crawled all the way into the store, walked
yeah,
in, and demanded they get her some fresh food? Then she climbed back out
she
the
sure did.
window.
And so these people are at work also. So I know the comedians, I know we're coming to go see them, specifically. And it is very intimate when they are able to, just have open stage and open mic, stuff like that. And it's nice. But, there was always security, I thought. I just assumed that people all around the stage were part of the security team. So it is kind of disheartening to see this happening, a pattern of behavior. Ti just has
Yeah.
that Napoleon syndrome. He's got issues. He's a nutcase. So
But
Mhm.
you know one thing
Hey,
I'm gonna say. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. I was just gonna say welcome Miss TR to the panel. Hey, love.
hi,
Hey, guys.
hi.
Hi, everyone.
What's happening? You know one thing I want to
I
say
just,
about. I'm sorry. One thing I want to just get right quick. How many times have you seen Ti disrespect a non-black woman though? Just think about that.
Hmm.
How many times? How many? He will never. And I've been seeing this because I live in the hood too, where it's really in San Antonio, it's mixed race. I'm just, and then people don't like it. But I'm sorry, black men don't feel nobody but a white man. It just is what it is. They will terrorize everyone else in the community, but when it comes to that white boy though, it's ghosts. You know what I'm saying? When it comes, even when it comes to black women, they will disrespect black women. They will never disrespect a white woman in public because they are afraid of the consequence, or an Asian woman or a Hispanic woman, because they're afraid of the consequence that the men will deliver to that ass. But go ahead, baby.
hello, everyone. Something, I never knew what just happened. However, it's come to a point where what they're going to have to do is at the door, regardless who it is, you know how they do a body check, like they do in those hood clubs to make sure there's no weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And Dave Chappelle should have had his security should have been up on their game. If he didn't have security, I could see them getting past to do harm to him. But if he has security and they got past, them security need a butt whipped and be banned from ever doing a
But
job
see,
like
it was a Netflix comedy tour, so it wasn't even just his security. It was like a whole project. So they should have been security for everyone. Period. I don't understand.
that.
Like
Correct.
that's crazy.
Correct. And it's going to come to a point where comedians are going to go up on the stage with a weapon to protect themselves. And it's going to be okay in certain states because you can have weapons in certain states to protect yourself. And two, the security, they need whoever was responsible for it's like guarding the president. If the president ends up getting punched, then that means you didn't do your job, because they should have
Exactly.
been
Like the
able to get that
comedians should be
clear.
sitting like they should be like standing there, like right on the side of the stage, in front of the stage, above the stage, under the stage. Like, how did this man just run across the stage? And
Right, right. You ever see like
crazy. That's crazy.
folks, did you ever see like these big time preachers where they have security and looking around in the front and then on the side, especially when it's offering time? That's what they need to have.
Yes, them big
You
churches, they be having security and they be armed. They be armed security,
know?
and they make sure that don't nobody get one penny out that offering plate, and that's at church.
Yeah.
Right. They practicing, peace be still. That's what they doing.
Child, be still,
Yeah.
you
And you know
better
what?
be still.
There's a good comment that Gummy Bombers made. It's like black. Yes, that one right. You just highlighted right there. Black. In the chat. And can you put it on the screen? It said blacks can't go black lives. Yes, baby. Blacks can't go Black Lives Matter on this possible insurgence of black comedians getting attacked on stage because it started with a black man. Absolutely.
Well, I got a
Absolutely.
problem with that anyway, because I look at that Black Lives Matter. Do Black lives really matter to us? Because if we
Hell
did, we would
no.
never kind
That,
of we would be
that ain't
displaying.
even our movement.
Well, just like Isaac said, a lot of black people who attack black people won't attack a white person, and the same thing goes for me with the Black Lives Matter. A lot of us Black Lives Matter until a white person attacks us, or
Mm.
specifically a white, well, not just white police officers, but police brutality, stuff like that. But it's crazy because, and then when we say, well, black lives should matter to black people, even if it doesn't have anything to do with a police officer. But then that's when we're like, well, that's a whole nother community, or that's a whole nother project or program, or you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I
You know,
understand what you're saying. But Miss TR mentioned something about the weapons. Now, besides the places that you cannot absolutely go with a weapon, which is like church, the courthouse, schools, libraries, all those different places, church, I think I mentioned that. But I keep my shit on me always. I have a CCW. I'm sure a lot of superstars, comedians, they have weapons. They have weapons. They have valid licenses to carry. So I wonder if Dave Chappelle is one of those people. And I would think that being in the position that a lot of them are in, that they would want to have their own protection on them. So again, how the hell is the audience able to get in with these weapons? If they can get in with weapons, shit, shouldn't the damn comedians on stage be allowed?
I would agree. I totally agree, Sonya. I mean, even to the point, like, it's like you would almost have to see, I would almost think that it should be carried on and seen, because at this point, it's like people are going to keep trying uh, these. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I'm banking on on black crime to continue to get worse. And at this point, I don't think it's not like you're hearing about celebrities that are black now, or white for that matter, that's just going postal and shooting up their audience members. You're not hearing that. So I would even argue with you. I'm not arguing. I would agree with you, Tanya, and make the argument that, well, yeah, since if I was a performer, I'm like, well, look, we're not on the news for shooting or doing anything violent to our audience members. And since our audience members or fellow performers don't not hold their peace, I'm telling you, somebody see that 45 or that Smith and Wesson on your weight hip is a good deterrent. It's a good deterrent.
It is a very good deterrent, but I want to see some measures, and I want this to become public. I want them
man,
to start making public statements, start having public press conferences about what is going on. Because again, I said earlier in the show this morning, they need to nip this in the bud right now, because the first one got slapped. The second one got attacked and knocked over. He could have been shot and stabbed. We don't know if this person was crazy. We don't know if he got a personal beef with Dave Chappelle, because they ain't let us know who it is yet. We don't know if this person was just drunk, high, or just we don't know what the hell is the reason why he attacked Dave Chappelle. But it could have been a lot worse, because again, he had a whole gun and a knife on him, and that's the biggest part of this picture. Even if he wasn't trying to attack Dave Chappelle, it was hundreds and hundreds of other people in there that could have got hurt.
I mean, yeah, because even with rock concerts, they have something called like they do mosh pits, right? Now, all the other audience members will fuck up other audience members, right? Like like when they do their thing and they go down there and everybody's raving and shit like that. like you do hear of other like communities when they have violence breaking up at concerts, but it's usually the guests attacking each other. You don't even I've seen it on rock concerts or
Yeah.
videos with certain rock artists. They get some of them that hop they crazy white asses up there, all but trust and believe.
Yes.
They don't get to touch the audit. They don't get to touch the artist. Matter of fact, some of the other people from the audience gonna hop their asses up there and snatch
Yeah.
you the fuck up and beat the piss out you.
Yeah. You mentioned the March. What do you call it? The March.
The mosh pit, yeah.
Yeah. People get fucked up over those. I'm sorry. This is a cussing channel, right?
Yeah, we could cuss, yes.
Yes.
You know, y'all. You already know.
You ain't have a good time at a damn concert unless you came back home or went to the hospital with some broken injuries, some
Right.
arm or leg. They prided them. Ooh, Lord. They took pride in fucking up people at concerts. And you know that whole thing, lifting them up in the air and passing them around. What do you think happened when you got to the end? Your ass went down on the ground. Oh, that rhymes. I'm a rapper. Anyway, Anyway, yeah, they love that shit. That shit was the rave parties. They get fucked up. They go there to get fucked up. Right. That's what happened.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, even for that, come on, boy. Even with that, even though it's not my thing, but I kind of be like, I would be more okay with that because when you go down there, because I have a couple of friends that are into metal, and they're like, that are white, and they will tell you, you don't bring your ass down there unless you bout that life.
Right.
So it's mutually
Damn.
understood. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's mutually understood. When I go to concerts with them, I sit my black ass safely up on the balcony somewhere or where I
I
can
mean,
see.
while listening from outside, fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like some of the music, but it's just kind of like, I just thought about that. I said, how
It's kind of violent too. But I wish I was a fly on that wall when they got Dave Chappelle up and brought him to the back. I could see him now, cussing, spitting
Oh
everywhere, pulling the
yeah.
wall,
Mhm.
firing everybody, cussing out, "Where's my security?" and cussing them out. And they stand up there looking like,
That's
Forrest Gump.
probably why they was going in on the dude afterwards. Did you see? You saw how they was kicking and stomping on that
yeah.
dude when they dragged him outside. But where was y'all? Y'all, if y'all wouldn't even have to do all that shit, if y'all was, they probably was like fucking off, looking off. I mean, just not paying attention. But I mean, nobody paying attention.
That's because you know what? He has a mixed audience, and they probably weren't expecting it. And so they were very lackadaisical. That should have never ever happened. He shouldn't even have saw the little ruffling. You know, he should have had enough security. It's just like MJ, Michael Jackson. He didn't have to have a weapon. All right. But he had security surrounding him like he was the damn president. Okay. And nothing would come near him. Nothing. And all they would do is try to take their finger and try to touch him. They had a hard time.
They couldn't
Okay.
touch the hem of his garment.
Right, that's right. They couldn't touch him. They couldn't even touch him. And this should have never happened. But what's going to happen is it's going to be a whole new game plan. You're going to get seats that are going to be further barricaded back. You're not going to be able to get up close and personal, I'm sure. It's going to be a couple of rows back. And there's going to be security surrounding the front part of the stage, all the way to the back, so you can't get in, not even backstage. And they'll probably have security up in the balcony to make sure nobody's taking some scope and trying to shoot someone. They're getting crazy here. It doesn't make any sense. And even if he did say something that brought someone to be pissed off, the security should have been up on it. And I'm gonna tell you something. And if it's a black man that went up there to hurt him, how come nobody's hurting these we call these white supremacists when they have their rallies?
Because they're
How come
afraid.
you ain't showing up? How come you're not showing up there shutting them down and doing? I just approve of this type of violence, and I'm sure many here in this panel do too. But
Right.
this doesn't make any sense because if how about the female comedians? This is going to affect their jobs. This is going to put fear into them as well as anger. It's like, are you kidding me?
And,
I
and
had to
that,
be careful
mhm.
about things I say, and which is good. When you go to certain ones, perform. When they go to perform, what's gonna come out their mouth. You know what to expect. So if you're not about it, then don't go to it because if you're gonna hear some crazy stuff. There's certain ones I don't like. Kevin Hart. I think his mouth is disgusting and nasty. I would never go to one of his performances. But however, I love him in the movies. I love him. So, it's like, why would I go to a Kevin Hart if I don't like the way his mouth is? So if you don't like the things that the comedians say, don't show up at their concerts. Now, this person had to plan that out, especially if David Chappelle didn't do anything yet. And then it's a Netflix too recording. Man, Netflix need to be up on their game, all the comedians, but this is going to send out a red alert to every comedian. Even what's his name, Schuler, that's a comedian here on YouTube. He says that you can, and he says, I advise you not to, not with me. So he already had his mindset. I'm going to have something for you once you go up on that
And
stage.
that's how I would be if I was a comedian. I'm like, bring your ass if you want to. You won't leave here like you came in Jesus' name. I'm telling you.
You
Yeah,
ain't going to leave like you came. You're
you
not going to leave like
you
you
might
came.
not leave at all, except in spirit, fucking with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might leave in
You,
spirit.
Be
you
somewhere
be leaving
floating
in
on
a
a
bag.
cloud.
You be leaving in a zip up bag, you
Sure.
know?
You'll be leaving us some saran wrap.
Child,
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
like it is just kind of like, yeah. That's the first thing that struck up to me. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, and like you
But you
said,
know
it's
what, too?
go ahead.
You know what's gonna happen? It's gonna affect people going out because they don't want to be end up getting hurt. They're gonna
Exactly.
say, "No, man, this is what happened. I'm not going." Because when that guy went up, I think it was in New Jersey because I live in New Jersey. When that young dude came in that movie theater with the trench coat and
Mm-hmm.
shot up everybody, kids and everybody in the
Yeah.
theater, that hurt me wrong. You can't get me to go to no movie theater. I'm paranoid about that. I'm
I am.
paranoid about bed bugs being in the seats. I'm paranoid.
Well, I'm paranoid about bed bugs everywhere I go, even to church. Shoot, but as far as
and
the movies,
movie
I say
theaters and
go to
stuff
movies
like that.
though.
You can't get me to no movie there. I'll get a DVD or you know how you order it on Netflix or whatever. Pay I ain't doing. Or my granddaughter gets it. She gets some kind of thing online when you end up getting things, bootlegged or whatever. You can get to see it, and we'll put it up on the TV, and that's gonna affect their bag.
Well, as
A
long as
lot
I got
of
my shit
actors.
on me, as long as I got my shit on my hip, I'll go wherever I want. But I do feel you about that about the movies because a lot of people stopped going to the movies back then. But then it's like this: people done shot up churches, people done shot up schools, people done shot up concerts. So it's like it's like, do we just stay home from everything, or do we take a
Press
chance?
forward.
Do we
Well,
risk
I'm
it?
not saying that everybody'll do it, honey. I'm saying that's gonna affect their
No,
bag.
I know what you're saying.
Meaning,
I know what you're saying. But see, me mentally, I'm like, shit happens anywhere. So me
Uh-huh.
personally, I just can't just stop going to one specific place just because something happened because we never know our time, our place, our you know what I'm saying. But again, that's why a lot of people over the last few years, them CCW training classes, they were so booked last year. Before the
mhm,
new president, well, before the new president took over, that they
mhm.
had classes booked up for months, and people started giving discount classes. All kind of people started, just normal, regular folks like us, started training to be a CCW trainer. Like a lot of people started getting strapped up within the last few years after the Proud Boys bullshit. But I'm like this: if you can't protect a person on an artist on stage, I'm definitely gonna protect myself.
That part.
Oh yeah, I hear you, but I blame all that on security because they shouldn't even got that guy shouldn't even got that close.
They should all be
There's
fired.
no
I
way.
mean, but here's
But
the thing.
one of them should be terminated.
What does it mean when it is like the good point you brought up? It is Netflix. It's their event. So what does it mean when you have a major company like Netflix and the Oscars not ensuring the security. Like, what does that mean? And how come this is only happening to black entertainments? Like, what is Netflix and the Oscars trying to say to black entertainment? I mean, it's kind
Well,
of, to
yeah, I
me,
don't think on the Oscars because that was really something weird. Like he
Yeah.
like that was like that would
you
make it
wouldn't
really
expect it,
bad.
but still, it's just,
Mm-mm.
but it still makes me wonder. Like,
I remember, sweetheart. He was in front. Will was in the front row. There was nothing in front of him. He was in the front row. All right. They have security to keep fans away
Yeah, they
because
didn't think that
and
Will was a threat.
paparazzi. They
They
right,
didn't
didn't
have,
think he was a threat.
the people were there inside weren't a threat. It was the people that were inside that did the threat who assaulted the one up on the stage. So
true.
because if they thought Will was gonna do something, they would have stopped him way before he even got up there because it was a walk. It wasn't like he just
Yeah.
jumped up.
Right. He didn't. Yeah, he casually just walked up there, and you
For
would
all
think
they
it
knew,
was a.
that it could have been part of a comedian skit. Because you got to remember, even what's his name? He when he Chris he leaned forward. He didn't expect that he was gonna say, like you say, "What's up, bruh?" You know, and then he took the advantage and he slapped him. You
Mhm.
know, and it
Like
caught
they
him off
said, Will
guard.
walked up there like Oprah did in The Color Purple when she told Harper
Right, or
with
more
with
like,
his arms swinging like Oprah in Color Purple. Like,
or like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
Alfred did post Snow, how Alfred did post Celie when she was in the field, and he slapped her for keeping her waiting for shaving.
mm-hmm.
That's really how
Mhm.
he did it. He just walked up on her, and Celie wasn't even bound. Like, you just saw it. It's just like, but still, it just makes me wonder. Then okay, for Netflix, after you saw that happen at the Oscars, what does it mean that you don't make extra precautions for another comedian? Because it's all Hollywood. It's still California. What does it mean that you don't take the precautions from that
Oh, I
point? I
feel
can
you,
understand the
sweetheart.
Oscars. I can understand the Oscars. That was the situation where, okay, was I maybe surprised? I could see that. I could reason with that. But then it's like, okay, if I was Netflix, this is still all Hollywood and entertainment. If I know that there's a chance that someone could be enraged, regardless if it's a celebrity or someone, or for that matter, I would take into consideration, regardless of the race of the performer, there needs to be some tighten up security at this point. And I
Well, I
do agree
guess we'll
with,
have more.
yeah.
I guess we'll have more answers when we find out who did it, when they
Yeah,
do a
I'm
deeper
gonna come back.
investigation.
We gonna
And then
discuss
we'll
this
be
once
able
we
to
find
analyze.
out.
Yeah,
But
then we'll be able to analyze it more. You know, when they do a full investigation, was it someone? Because I'm pretty sure right now all heads are being turned. And I
mhm.
know Dave Chappelle is spitting and cussing and raging his eyes, his big eyes about to pop out. And you know he
Oh,
already paranoid. You know he already paranoid about the people. And this
right.
happened. It took him a long time to get back after being gone for years. You
Yeah,
know,
it,
you
yeah,
know
and
he
I love me
already
some Dave
paranoid about
Chappelle.
the people and stuff. I can see him now spitting and fist fighting in the air and stomping and going off. Cause it
Right.
not only, and he probably is scared to, you know what, about them too. Like, what the heck?
Well, like
You
I
know,
said,
where's my
all them
security?
they all should be fired. All the security guards should be fired because when you
They-
on stage and you being a comedian, not only do you have the task of trying to entertain the people and keep them from falling asleep or throwing tomatoes at you, but you have the task of remembering your jokes word by word.
Yeah, it's a lot
Focusing
to it.
on things that you
And
could probably joke on in the crowd. Your mind is not even focused on attacks.
it shouldn't
So
be
that's
because
why
they're
y'all are
paid.
there. Like that's why you're
That's
there.
right. And it
I mean,
shouldn't be because they're being paid to secure the damn. Man, I would be like the queen of heart, off with their friggin' heads, man. Ain't no explanation unless you were in the bathroom taking a piss or shit. Off with your doggone head.
yeah.
Off.
I,
You
I
gotta
mean,
go.
I as a performer
Unless it
myself,
was an inside job.
yeah, as a performer myself, I have to kind of wonder a lot about that. I've never, even I've played at different bars and clubs and bars. I've never been my black ass on that piano thinking that I'm gonna have to miss. I'm gonna have to check in between calls if somebody gonna come up here and fuck with me while I'm playing and singing. That is a good point. Like I'm not. You're
I
not
guess
thinking
you,
about that.
I guess you do now.
Yeah, Isaac, you better have
Yeah,
you
and
something
wearing
under
a
that
bulletproof
piano, under that organ.
Oh,
You better have you something.
and,
baby, I'm gonna
and,
change my style. I'm just not gonna play black videos.
Oh, don't do us
and
like that,
honey,
Isaac. Don't do
you're
us
gonna
like
have to
I'm just
you're gonna
playing.
have to wear a shank vest,
I'm gonna
you
do.
know.
that.
I'm gonna do video.
And
I'm gonna do video.
okay.
So I'm gonna bring back video. So
Oh no, you like just stream me in, just stream me in. But hey, what's up, Heavy Darren? Who else came in here? Hey, Tay Zink. I didn't ignore you, babe. I was just trying to get into where I can say hi. Hey, Tay Zink, and hey, Heavy Bear. Thanks you guys for joining us this morning for this morning discussion of Dave Chappelle getting attacked last night on a comedy tour. Um, on stage, like got attacked on stage. And all of us agree so far that security does need to be amped up. I don't know if they need to fire the whole security staff
no,
or one person, but they need to not only that, but the people getting in with the weapons, that should be that's I am appalled that people can get into these events with a whole weapon, two weapons. He had two weapons, a gun and a knife. So they need to make sure they start putting these. I don't know if they stop doing it, but start. I don't not patting people down, but having those
Detectors.
metal detectors
The
at the
metal
front.
detectors.
Because see, I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and we're not a humongous city. Okay, we're not a humongous city, but we're kind of big on a small scale. But everything we go to, it don't matter if it's a concert or play, it's metal detectors. I ain't been nowhere in Omaha for something like that. Unless it's like an outside event where people can come from all areas, like in a big park or something. But for those closed door events, there's always metal detectors, like always.
but also too, I have realized this too. There have been times where it's like, what security company are you hiring? Because okay, if you're trying to be so cheap to just hire people, like, are you hiring an actual security company? Or you're hiring like a help agency to be bodies at the front? Because you're not going to get the same amount of protection versus if you hire a security company that their job is to be armed in protection
Mhm.
versus if you're just hiring people who don't have training, which I've seen this a lot of times at concerts too, unfortunately. It's not like it's security in the sense of somebody who is security, like security for the building to report if anything happened, not
Yeah,
security
yeah,
to.
we're not looking at. Yeah, I understand. You're talking about. There's a difference between a security guard that's standing
Uh huh.
at
Right.
a little mom and pop pharmacy, standing at the door, look whereas an old man at the door. You know,
It's
are
like
you
a
hiring?
real police person or a rental cop, you know.
And
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so
There
it
you
does,
go. Yeah, that's the
so that's
very
what makes
good.
that's what would make me still then wonder with Netflix. Okay, you're a multi-million billion-dollar company, so why are you only depending on rental cops for security versus actually hiring armed security? Oh, don't tell me you ain't got the money to do that. So that's what kind of makes me, because I kind of, that's what it looks like. You obviously had some people who might have been some bodies that was there, but see, they didn't have nothing on their hips, see, that was gonna make them hold their peace.
Yeah, years ago, just because somebody put a T-shirt on that said security, that was acceptable. But there are people now that make that their career, their bodyguards, and they have extensive resumes. There are companies that provide security services that also provide secure insurance for the liability, and if anything happens. So just hiring the temporary agency security person, just some extra bodies. Here's $100. Just stand there. That's not acceptable anymore. It really is, and it should never have been. Really.
Well, you
Uh-huh.
remember that video I posted probably 2 years ago? It got like almost 500,000 views right now. But
Mhm.
I had ran up on an incident at Walmart where two people were arguing and fighting, and the security guard came over to basically push his weight around against the wrong person, and if it wasn't for us and other people, that person would have got kicked out the store and all kind of other shit, right? But the security guard had a whole gun, he had mace, he had the whole belt around his waist, and then he had police, the police black like polo, them shirts they wear with the big yellow police across the back of his back, and then when we kept asking for his badge number and all that, well, the person who was being attacked, he said, we was like, you the police? And so he was like, I'm not a police officer. And we looking at him like, and the video, a lot of y'all have seen it already. And in the video, we all like, but you got police on your back. What you mean you ain't a police officer? Either you're a police officer or you're a security guard. But since security have security clothes on, saying they're a security guard and what company they work for, instead of a police badge on their back, like big as day, police in big capital letters.
He could
So
have got in big trouble for that because you can't wear nothing like that because you consider impersonating.
right.
You
So I'm
can't.
thinking he probably lied so that people would try to go above his head. That's what I was thinking. But I was just, going off of what View said about, it's real security guards versus well, I don't want to say real versus fake, but some of them have their own like personal security guards for the project, for the celebrities. They go everywhere with them. And then what Isaac is saying too, they might go to a place and call up a company. We need like 5 security guards, 5 bouncers. You know what I mean? It's a big difference.
Yeah. But with him being a high, yeah, he is a celebrity and he is a big celebrity. But
Mm-hmm.
however, you remember it was a couple about maybe 2 months ago when the Kardashians boyfriend got in trouble because people were getting killed in the audience, and they were hiring fake, like it was security, but it was security for hire. They had no training, no nothing, and people had gotten killed. Even the youngest one was like 8 years old.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right, because of the type of security it has. But you know what? This is going to be an eye opener for not only for us, for when we go to events like this. Us open an eye opener for, well, the Oscars. They know what to do now, and now Netflix, which is really stupid because you've seen what happened in other places. It's just like once we started hearing about the churches being shoot up during prayer, them churches, man, they got, once the doors get shut, they get shut. You don't get let in unless it's a certain time. When the offering's taking place, everything shuts down and gets locked. You got people at the door, and then you got people in the church to make sure nothing happens to that money when it's being transported. And when that had came out, it put out a warning to everyone, and they started upping their security. And there's no excuse for that happening at Netflix. There is no reason for an excuse.
They
Because
don't. And you know what's so funny? The irony of it all is that the name of this tour presented by Netflix, the tour is called Netflix is a Joke. That it's the Netflix
Hey,
is a Joke Festival. That's what the tour is. So it's like, okay, Netflix, like y'all need to really buff up y'all security because this literally is a joke. The whole shit that happened last night is like, what the fuck? you know? But yeah, so I'm pretty sure Netflix is gonna take some extra measures, extra precautions because that right there, that should not have happened. And if nobody had a phone out, that's why I said I give credit to the person, even though they weren't supposed to have their phones out. But if nobody had their phone out, we wouldn't even saw this. They probably would have swept it under the rug.
hmm and being that now that Black Twitter or whoever else got it, it's gonna
Mhm.
be just gonna be talked about. On when I get off of here, I'm start doing some searching.
Yeah,
You
please.
know, I'm like, what?
Well, I'm gonna keep
What?
my eyes and ears open to find out who it was, if they had an issue with him, or if this was just some random crazy uh audience member. I'm gonna keep my eyes and ears open because I am gonna have to do a update on that when we find out more information. But I'm about to get my butt out of here so I can get to work.
Same here.
I got a long day. I got a long day, y'all. And then tonight
What time is it over there?
it's 9:02 a.m. and
Oh, okay.
at 8 o'clock, you guys don't forget we have a live interview with Christina Nance. She's an author. And the book that we are interviewing her about is called No More Closed Doors. It deals with mental illness, depression, and suicide attempt. It is her own personal story that she wrote about. And we're going to have her live with us 8 o'clock p.m. So that is, I'm
8
sure,
o'clock what stands Eastern?
Central Standard Time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm
gonna post I already posted a notification, but I'm gonna repost it later on today so it can be fresh out there on the community wall, and I'll post it on Facebook and
when you
everything.
do that, just food for thought. Always put the, if it's Eastern, Central, because I'm Eastern, and I know when people say a certain time, I'm looking and I'm like, and then when I come on, it's like, where is everybody? That's because they're
Well, if you
not
hit the
putting it.
notification, on any YouTuber, you'll get the notification before they go live. But I usually do put the area, the Central Standard Time, when I do my community wall post.
Okay. All right, everyone, I'm out of here. You can tell I'm not feeling all that great today, and we still
Well, I
are
hope
over
you
here.
feel better.
You feel better, baby.
I really hope you do feel better.
All right, thank you. Blessings, everyone, and have a great day. Okay, bye bye.
Yes, you too. And hey, Choreo Lover, good morning. Have a blessed day to you too, Nick Knack. That's my girl Nikki. She said, I'm just waiting to see the reason and who it is. Me too. That's what we're looking forward to find out why and who. That's the big questions right now. Why and who. So you guys make sure you if you haven't liked the video already, make sure you like the video on your way out and share the video. And if you want to send a little gesture to your girl on this morning, all you have to do is $sign the hood table 402 on Cash App. And on that note, everybody, thanks for joining me this morning. Isaac, you know I love you, boo. Excuse me.
Love you too, babe. I'm about to get out here and start my day too.
All right, hon. And thanks for everybody tuning in again. Stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. Bye.